That sounds like a drunken response. Okay, so here we are. It's a party. It's a party. Let me tell you about this party that I was at last Saturday. I mean, it was crazy. There were some people there. I knew one person. I was invited by a friend, and I got there, and there were these people wearing masks. And by people, I think they might have been animals, actually. Not really sure. So there were some pretty interesting antics. I think there were some artists there. There were some dancers. There were some musicians. There was certainly an interesting soundtrack. And then some people just started busting a move. And I'm not really sure where they got those globular silver things from, but suddenly they were there. And you know, then the rest of us, actually, that's me in purple there, third, second from the right, and you know, we just couldn't help but get into the swing of things. So once again, an umbrella appeared and some rather random props, and we just felt the need to get it out. So there we were. You know, and the funny thing was, actually, the funny thing was, we were at these people's place, and they had kids. They had kids, but the kids were upstairs. At a certain point, the kids were in bed. At a certain point, the party navigated upstairs, and we found ourselves in the kids' room. And this is a very boring slide that I'm not really sure what to say. But so I'll stay in the kids' room for a second. Yeah, we had a great time, and it was certainly an interesting party, and we had many interesting conversations, and some of them were involving city TV. Switch.
Oh, this is when I was a little girl in London. This was my living room. My dad was kind of weird, but he was really into like us greeting people, so we had to practice shaking hands every day. And each hand would have like a slightly different grip, so some were really firm and then some were kind of lame. But my mum was more like, she was like, yeah, it's good to touch humans, but also you want to get involved with nature. But we didn't really have the facilities to keep watering the plants and replanting them, so she just made these kind of fake plants out of rubber, and then they had lights on the end because we stayed up kind of late. And the family pet, you know, he died when I was 2. It was really sad. But we decided we still want to keep him, but he'd got run over on the bottom half. But luckily my sister would have enjoyed those guys because she was a jeweler. So she made this kind of really beautiful homage to Betsy, our lion. And we also enjoyed sports. So we had in the fields, I mean, it was kind of a reservoir, but we managed to get some floating tennis courts over the top. When you played, it was a bit dangerous. Oh, it was soccer. We played like soccer tennis. So we'd like hit the soccer ball with our tennis courts. And my brother always wanted to be like a gas attendant. It was his dream one day. And so my dad, after he built the room with the hands, built this amazing thing for my brother. But I wanted to get involved. I was like, Dad, let me do a montage of sticking up different, you know. So those were all the magazines that I loved as a kid. It was beautiful.
Yeah, so this is me when I was about 5 years old. I was really obsessed with rhinoceroses. And that's all I did in school. I just kept drawing and creating sculptures and different, iterations of what I thought it was. And then I fell in love with movies. And this was the first movie I fell in love with because I just really wanted to be there in her shoes. And really, though, I decided that I was more into fashion, and so I just wanted to make dresses out of curtains. And so this was sitting in my bedroom for a long time when I was growing up. And then I got really into making other things, like my own vehicles, because I didn't really like to buy into that whole culture of buying automobiles, so I just made my own. My grandfather, he was a distinct relative of the Ford brothers. So he taught me how to make that. And then the cobbler, when I got older, I decided that I needed to scale down the things that I was making. I had a really interesting career. So I got really into men's shoes, the fashion, the curtains, and then I kept finding these shoes on the street. And so I decided to make art pieces just about shoes that I found on the street. And this is my grandfather, actually. Yeah, he liked automobiles and boats, and he taught me how to row. And so, yeah, we like to do that all the time, just go rowing in these contraptions that we built ourselves. And there we go.
So I've got a bit of a dilemma. I'm at a point in my career and I don't know where to go. As a professional sign maker at protests, it's hard to find meaningful causes that I'm dedicated to that I just want to express myself on placards. The Occupy movement was good. Got a little boring. So this is one of my signs I made for an I Hate Boring lecture. People showed up, it didn't really go over well, so I'm not really sure what to do next. I mean, what do you think I could do next? Right. Is the question I asked myself. But the answer is obvious. I'm gonna put little cats in jars, photograph it, put it on the internet. That stuff's hot right now. That shit is hot. The only problem was, I can't get them out. So once they go in, they're in. And that's actually an old sign I made from a protest about putting cats in jars. The darkness, the redness is the feeling of the cats in jars. So I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know what to do next. I think I might, go to U Street and start walking around and, interviewing people, doing a little panhandling. I mean, there's a hot pizza place there I know that's really good. So I think that'll attract a lot of people there. But if all else fails, just say thank you.